Freedom from down payments, freedom from payments for 3 months, and freedom from your old car. Plus, if you have a job and clear $350 per week, Matt Black Kia wants to approve you today on any brand new Kia or pre-owned vehicle in stock, or one of hundreds of new 2023 Kia models en route, all with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. So bring any trade in any condition, even if you're stuck in a loan or lease. Matt Black Kia wants to get you released. Get cash for your car today, even if you don't buy a car from us. But why wouldn't you buy a new Kia? Because you can't make a mistake with our 4-day love it or leave it return policy.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
Unapproved credit plus applicable taxes and fees. See dealer for details. Not all will qualify. Deferred payment through TFCU. Interest accrues from date of sale. Offers don't combine. Go to mattblackkianj.com for complete details. Expires 8/7/22. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and now on Route 37 and Toms River.
Sports is what we do.
Segura from a knee throws him out.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
What a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
What a move! What a show! Game Night is back after a hiatus. Mike Gill's back from his vacation, which means I'm back at 6 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Well, Phillies got the job done today. They beat the Braves earlier this afternoon. Eagles, 1 week in the training camp. What are our takeaways? Plus the latest NFL news as well. All that and more coming up here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Weinberg Wednesday, Dave Weinberg, 97.3 ESPN.com. Sports columnist, his extra point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. We'll talk with him coming up in less than 20 minutes from now. As always, you can join the conversation at 609-403-0973 is the text board. You can also DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. You know, a lot to decipher in the aftermath of yesterday's trade deadline. So we'll get to some of that in just a bit. But I want to start with the football stuff because, you know, the latest from Eagles camp is that as the days have gone on, the offense has gotten better. And apparently yesterday was one of Jalen Hurts' best days at practice. And the reason why I bring this up is because we have heard in the past as sports fans, this guy's a gamer. He's not a practice player. He's better on game day than he is in practice. And, you know, a lot of that stuff has been a bit of a overhyped misnomer, in my opinion, at times. You know, there's been a lot of, you know, misinformation when it comes to, you know, what guys are or are not, what practice means, what it doesn't mean. But here's what I do know. What I do know is that the pads came on yesterday and Jalen Hurts played much better than he did a few days ago. And that the offenses around the NFL are getting better as the days go on in training camps. What that says to me is that the league as a whole has become such a high level of play that the defenses again matter. See, I'm not going to play this game of charades where I'm going to read too much into, you know, what a guy doesn't do in practice. What I am going to read into is the fact that what I know for sure is that there has not been a team to win the Super Bowl with a poor defense in the last 30 years. There's no team going to the Super Bowl, winning a championship that's got some below average, poor excuse for a defense and then winning a championship. So to me, I'm not going to sit here and overreact to the Eagles defense or any team's defense playing well at practice. And look, you can tell me all you want that this guy did well or this guy did this at practice. What's more beneficial to know is who's playing with the first team, who's playing with the second team, who's getting the important reps each day. Because the guys who get the most reps are usually the guys who are going to be the most important players for your team. It's a very simple formula. I think that there's many times we overcomplicate this stuff. We take football, which is the ultimate team sport, and we turn it into rocket science. And it's not. Look, I think it's a very important thing to note that with Zach Pascal out for a few days due to what they're calling a stomach bug or food poisoning, basically, that Jalen Reagor has taken advantage of those opportunities and he has stepped up. If you don't think that's a positive, then you just hate Jalen Reagor. I'm not saying I'm a fan of his, but I think there is a positive to be found that there are players on this team that are obviously progressing from last year to this year. There are players on this team that have obviously grown from one year to the next. And I personally love seeing that. I love seeing growth no matter who it is. And it doesn't matter that Jalen Reagor isn't receiver 1, 2, or potentially 3 or 4 in this team. The fact that players are taking the coaching, that they're growing as players and people, is a huge part of the equation for this team to be better. The Eagles can't make the playoffs if they don't continue to get better, if they don't continue to grow, if they don't continue to develop. Those are the things that matter to me from practice. It doesn't matter that Jalen Hurts throws an interception one day. What matters to me is, does he make the same mistake again and again? And if he doesn't, then we're good. If he does, that's a problem. Because one thing we've learned recently is that if you go by media reports and you go by Twitter too much, you're going to be lost in translation. At the end of the day, on paper, the Eagles arguably have the best roster in the division. The Cowboys took another hit this week with James Washington going down with a broken foot. The Giants are basically betting on Daniel Jones' development coming off of a neck injury. And the Giants are hoping that everybody stays healthy. I mean, how many of those guys have been injured the last couple of years? It's been a mess. In Washington, they're basically betting on Wentz being better than Garrett Gilbert, Taylor Heineke, Kyle Allen, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's what they're betting on. And I don't know if that's the most crazy bet in the world either. I mean, Carson Wentz has more talent than all those guys. He has, a better resume than all of those guys. The one thing with Wentz is that he is a bit of a wild card at times, and you don't know if you're getting the best version of him for day to day. You go position by position. The Eagles are the best offensive line, arguably, in the division. What wide receiver group is exceptionally better than the Eagles? The Giants may be healthy. Certainly not the Cowboys. Listen, with James Washington injured and no Amari Cooper and no Cedric Wilson down in Dallas, how many of you can actually name anyone not named Michael Gallup or CeeDee Lamb on that roster offensively? And it's not a negative against any of you listening. It's proving the point. The Cowboys did a horrible job at replacing two of their top targets from last season. And they have an aging offensive line. The only thing that the other three teams have is an argument that certain people can make that their quarterback is better. And you could tell me that Saquon Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott are both better than what the Eagles have to offer. But the problem is both Zeke and Saquon have been injured at times the last couple of years. So they may have the talent, but they have the durability. In a world where you're hoping a guy, plays 12, 13 games every year, you look around and you realize, you know what? The Eagles are probably going to be the healthier team this year. And that's why most reasonable people think they can win the division. Josh Hennig here on Game Night 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. Now, to the Phillies, of course, you guys can text in 609-403-0973 is the text board. You also can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. So with the Phillies, here's the deal. They won the game today in part because of what happened yesterday. The Phillies found a way to snag the lead, thanks to Nick Castellanos, who's batting .414 in his last 7 games, hit the game-leading home run. Phillies get the lead. Dominguez and Alvarado combined to survive the 8th inning. And in the 9th inning, they gave it to Dave Robertson, the guy they just acquired yesterday. And you have to wonder, if Robertson had not been acquired yesterday, excuse me, how does today's game different? Does the bullpen be handled differently? Is the team approaching the 8th and 9th innings differently? Does Dominguez pitch the 9th instead of the 8th? Does Alvarado still come into the game in the 8th? Is Brad Hand the guy they go to in the 9th? There's so many questions with this stuff that you have to look at the Phillies and realize that bullpen trade is already paying off. And I know for me, look, I still walk out of yesterday. I said this yesterday on the air. I'll say it again today. Dave Dombrowski deserves a lot of credit for what he did yesterday, because yesterday was not just about who they acquired. It was about who they replaced. Philly fans should be ecstatic moving forward, because Odubel Herrera, Jarius Familia, and Mickey Moniak are no longer part of the conversation for playing time, for pitching, for at-bats, for none of that. That's a huge part of this conversation. And for the Phillies, they didn't have to look to Familia today or yesterday in the bullpen. Yeah, I know the Phillies got shellacked in a bullpen game yesterday, but it was because, the day fell on a bad spot for everybody. Because that was supposed to be Kyle Gibson's start. He was off because his grandmother passed away. He's with his family. And it was just a bad day for a lot of different guys when it comes to when they're starting, when their start date was, and all that stuff. So I kind of chalked yesterday up to just, don't worry about it, forget it. That's how I look at yesterday. Today is the more important sign. Today was a sign that this team needed to make those trades yesterday. They needed to get rid of the players who were here yesterday, because there's no telling that if Moniak, Herrera, and Familia were still part of this organization, do the Phillies even win this game today? I'm not even sure. I have no idea. To me, yesterday was just as much about who you got rid of than who you brought in. And I think Brandon Marsh is going to be a good Philly. I think Philly fans are going to love his attitude, his grit. And, basically he looks like an amalgamation between Jason Worth and Aaron Rowan, the way he plays and looks. Robertson, you already saw the benefits of him being here. Although, as I asked earlier, does he keep wearing the Cubs cleats until he gives up a run? Because he pitched really well today with the Cubs cleats instead of the Phillies cleats. I don't know how superstitious he is, but I'm just asking. Then you look at who else they acquired. Syndergaard is going to start tomorrow. Noah Syndergaard is already an upgrade for a team that literally just had a bullpen game yesterday. With Syndergaard, as long as the rest of the team stays relatively healthy, you don't need to have a bullpen game the rest of the season. Because with Zach Eflin on the 60-day injury list, that means that guess what? You are going to have to walk into this situation with one question and one question alone. Are you better than you were Monday? The answer is yes. And with the Phillies being better than they were Monday, they finally have a real opportunity to make the postseason for the first time in a decade. And that in and of itself is exciting. We'll talk more baseball and football coming up next with Dave Weinberg for this week's edition of Weinberg Wednesday here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. And we'll check in with your guys' thoughts, comments a little bit later this hour on the text board 609-403-0973 and your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle.
Hey, South Jersey, this is Billy Schwein. Tune into The Locker Room every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN. Each weekend in The Locker Room, you will get passionate sports talk from a fan's perspective, along with interviews with some of the biggest names in sports. That's every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon in The Locker Room with me, Billy Schwein, on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with a Schweiner.
Alert! We're under construction at Sport Hyundai in Egg Harbor. It's time to make room for our new and improved facility, and you're the big winner. We're clearing out inventory with our incredible construction reduction sale. New Santa Fe's, Tucson's, and more in stock and priced to move today. With Hyundai Assurance and America's best warranty, including the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Use our main entrance on Black Horse Pike. Construction reduction deals are once in a lifetime, and this inventory won't last. See for yourself in person or at sporthyundai.com.
In the wee hours of the night, when everyone else is fast asleep, you're the one on third shift, burning the midnight oil. When a part fails and everything comes to a grinding halt, regardless of what the clock on the wall says, you leap into action. Grainger is with you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support by phone or click to chat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wendy's new Strawberry Frosty is here, so check your watch. Is it Frosty time yet? It probably is. The hour hand would be on, I'm feeling snacky. And the minute hand would be on, relaxing with a rich, creamy Strawberry Frosty on a summer day, just digging into that smooth, chilly deliciousness and vibing. You know, depending on what kind of watch you have. When it's time for Frosty time, choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Frosty and Classic Chocolate or New Strawberry.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm sorry, I can't operate on that vehicle.
But doctor, you took an oath.
That RV, it's my son's RV.
Oh, doctor, isn't there anything you can
I'm not a miracle worker, Sheila. I'm an RV surgeon, trained to save the lives of large, injured recreational vehicles, which is definitely a real profession.
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
Come on, giddy up, get a move on.
Where are we going, Tex? Tombstone, Abilene, Dodge City?
Nope, we're headed east. We gotta get going. We still got a long ride in front of us, and I ain't gonna miss Chicken Palooza for nothing.
It's Royal Farms Chicken Palooza with great chicken box, sandwich deals, and more all summer long. Get a 2-piece world-famous box, white or dark meat, for just $6, and 10 cents of each sale will be donated to local charities. You can also get a classic, spicy, or deluxe world-famous chicken sandwich. Plus, you can register for a chance to win world-famous chicken for a year. Royal Farms Chicken Palooza. Nobody wants to miss it.
Come on, you horsies. We're almost there.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Sweepstakes ends August 31st, 2022. Chicken for a year prize to be awarded as 8 $100 Royal Farms gift cards. For details and official rules, visit royalfarms.com/chicken-palooza-sweepstakes. Void where prohibited. Sponsored by Royal Farms.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
Have that flatweed shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. you might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge.
But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99.
You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
This summer, escape to the Jersey Cape, a place that's real and really charming. Come relax, really relax on our beaches, or maybe just sit on a porch and daydream. Explore our trails, discover our natural areas, or go camping, walk the boardwalk, visit a museum or a lighthouse, experience our eclectic dining, or try your hand at fishing and crabbing. Sample our homegrown fruits and vegetables, local wines, brews, and spirits, or participate in our outdoor activities, special events, and live entertainment found beyond our world-famous beaches. Visit the Free County Park and Zoo for a trip on the wild side. Enjoy authentic experiences where the arts easily connect to nature. The food comes directly from the sea or soil, and the outdoors go from birding to playing in the surf. Stay at a modern motel or a quaint bed and breakfast inn. Escape the everyday and pursue your passions at the Jersey Cape. It's authentically charming and sincerely yours. Escape to thejerseycape.com. Sponsored by Cape May County Tourism.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We're getting to more Phillies and football talk right now for this week's edition of Weinberg Wednesday with Dave Weinberg here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Game Night is back, which means Weinberg Wednesdays are back at the usual time. Dave was kind enough to join me at an earlier time the last couple of weeks. So I was filling in for Mike Gill. But, Dave, we are back at the normal time, which means I don't have to rush you off the beach. I don't have to rush you off the golf course. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Josh. How are you? I did get some beach time in. No golf today, but maybe tomorrow. We'll see what the weather's like.
Supposed to be really stinking hot tomorrow. They say it's supposed to be disgusting.
Then I'll probably be back at the beach then.
So, Dave, I know how much you love baseball. A couple things I want to hit on with you with baseball. First of all, after yesterday, the Phillies make not one, not two, but 3 trades, and they get rid of some of the most hated players in the city, i.e. Odubel, Herrera, and Familia, and Moniak. What are your reactions the day after trade deadline day?
Very pleased with what they did. I mean, they checked all the boxes. I thought they got a starting pitcher, reliever, and a center fielder who can actually catch the ball. So I think that his offense might be a little bit questionable, but that's okay. I mean, there's plenty of bats in the lineup, I think. So I thought they really helped themselves.
What was the bigger deal? The fact that the roster is better today, or the fact that they got rid of those 3 guys that everybody who's a Phillies fan seems to hate?
I think it's better, the roster being better. I mean, I know a lot of guys, or a lot of people, fans wanted those guys gone, and rightfully so. But, I mean, Moniak, not so much. I thought he just kind of needed to change the scenery. But Herrera and Familia, I'm glad that they're out of town, or designated for assignment, whatever it is. So, I'm more impressed with the moves that they made, the acquisitions that they made, because I don't think they're going to win a division. I don't think they're getting to the World Series, but at least they'll be in the playoff hunt down the stretch with these 3 guys.
Well, also, let's talk about the fact that, Dave, you have one of the top 10 payrolls in all of baseball.
Right,
should be making the playoffs. You should be playing well. People are like, oh, Castellanos is finally hitting. He's had a 4.14 batting average the last 7 games. Like, this team on paper is supposed to be at minimum a playoff team.
Yeah, you're right there. You're right there based on the payroll and then the talents in the lineup. And then you're going to get Harper back. You're going to get Segura back. So that makes them that much better, I think. I mean, I still don't think they're a World Series team, but yeah, they're you're right there. The expectations were high and deservedly so.
Now, moving forward, we know that the Phillies have a better roster. Do you think that means not after this year, but next year? Does that mean if they make the playoffs this year, the expectation has to be next step next year, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Same with any sport. Yeah. Eagles, same thing. Yeah. If they get to a playoffs, and the next one is to win a playoff series, next one after that is to get to the NLCS and then World Series, I would think. I mean, they kind of went in reverse order back in 2008, but yeah, it's their expectations are going to be definitely higher if they get the playoffs this year. No doubt about it. And the roster that they have. Yep.
Now, speaking of baseball, I got to ask you before we move on. The legend Vin Scully passed away late last night, and there's so many great stories, so many great things people have to say about the legend Vin Scully. Just want to give you a moment to just you share your thoughts.
Well, I never had the privilege of meeting him in person, but I used to listen to him like on broadcast whenever it was available, and yeah, definite legend and icon in the sport. Not just a great announcer, but it seemed to be like a great person too. Really, one of those old school, I guess, if you will, kind of announcers where had that kind of like folksy delivery where you would intertwine anecdotes and a little bit of humor in with the play-by-play. I mean, anybody can do play-by-play, but to make it entertaining and make people want to watch, which he did for decades, I thought that was really, really special.
There was nothing better than when Vin Scully's telling the story, whatever story it may be, and he interweaves it with, all right, 2 ball, 1 strike count. Here's the pitch. The way he did it was so smooth. It was an art form, basically. And it's interesting because Dave, in this area, Philadelphia, a city full of their own broadcasting legends, Vin Scully is he's almost like a god among men in the category.
Yeah. I mean, Harry Callis is right up there with Phillies fans, and deservedly so. But yeah, Vin was a special category unto himself. Just the fact that the longevity plus the excellence and like I said, the character and the pride that he brought to the broadcast booth was unequaled, really.
We mentioned football. Let's hit on the Eagles for a little bit. Dave, you covered the Eagles for a long time. You've seen a lot of different things. And well, I bring it up to just the context, the question.
Okay.
Is there anything that you find more annoying than when people call guys practice or game day guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people chronicling Jalen Hurts' completion percentage and stuff. It's practice, for goodness sakes. They're not even they're not in pads. They're not doing any hitting. There's no pressure. There's there's defense, but it's no pass rush really. Yeah, I don't really care how they do in practice. Put them in a game situation, and then you'll see if you have a player or not. And that goes for training camp too. I mean, I know you're getting a kind of an early gauge on what you have, but you really can't get much out of it, to be honest with you. I don't think.
Well, I just think it's interesting that people are now the people who hate Jalen Hurts are a little upset, because all of a sudden they put the pads on yesterday and Hurts looked great. So it's now you have the people who are saying, oh, Hurts is a gamer. And it's listen, you either play or you can't. Let's be realistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I know everybody's on Jalen Reagor he had a great catch yesterday, apparently, or this morning. I don't know when it was. But,
I mean, he's played well, but I would argue, has he played well because he's playing well, or is he playing well because Zach Pascal was out for several days due to food poisoning, and somebody had to take the reps?
Right. I mean, he made the most of his opportunities, I guess. You could view it that way if you want, but yeah, it's he's going to be back on the in second string, third string once Pascal gets back. That's for sure.
Overall, what is your perspective? Obviously, we're a month ahead of the season even starting, but what is your perspective on the NFC East? Because I was saying before you came on that I think the argument can be made that on paper, the Eagles are much better at multiple positions than their division rivals.
Yeah, they are. I would agree with you there. Although I don't know if that equates to dominance on the field necessarily. Injuries always play a factor. People seem to forget that the Eagles were incredibly fortunate last year. I think we've discussed this before in terms of injuries and the quarterbacks that they faced last year. A lot of people got hurt, so they were facing third and fourth string quarterbacks who weren't even on their teams a week before they played them, and so I mean but to their credit, they took advantage of their chances. But on paper they are better than the Cowboys, Giants, and Redskins. Commanders is what they're called. Yeah, sorry. And I'll be interested to see how Carson Wentz does, though. against them. Daniel, I know I'm in the minority. I'm kind of a Daniel Jones fan. I think he's very vastly underrated. Doesn't have a whole lot of talent around him, but I think he's got a lot of potential. That's just me, but I know I'm. I know I'm in the minority there.
Depending on who you ask, there's one of two problems up in Giants camp right now. One group of reporters are saying the problem is that, they're having trouble getting up to speed on the offense. That Daboll's offense is so new to some of these guys that it's hard to judge Daniel Jones when the guys around him may not understand what the play calls are at times. And then the other part of it is, Daniel Jones is still coming off of a neck injury. And, I don't know. I mean, how much of 100% is he at this point? There's no guarantee that he's going to be like, he might be another year away. It's like almost when a guy gets like Tommy John surgery and like they need like another year after the year. Like we saw the thing with Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning's super year in Denver wasn't, the very first year. It was the second year in Denver. So, and I'm not trying to say that Peyton Manning and Daniel Jones' neck injuries are the same, but the neck injury still affects your shoulder and the shoulder affects your throwing. And there's a part of me that wonders, is this year really going to be Daniel Jones healthy?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. I would think they were going to rely even more heavily on Saquon Barkley, who apparently is back to full strength. Like you were talking about the year after the year, kind of struggled last year, but from what I've read and heard, he's back to full strength now as one of the elite backs in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him.
Yeah, the only problem is, that this is a weird division, Dave, because the two best running backs in division are Barkley with the Giants and Elliott with the Cowboys, but yet both of them have a similar problem, which is the offensive lines in front of them both have questions surrounding them. So it's like, hey, you have this great talent in the backs, but then the guys blocking ahead of him may not be the best for them.
That's true. And I don't know that Elliott is still like that guy. It seems like there's a lot of tread off those tires. They did the same thing with DeMarco Murray in Dallas, where they just ran him into the ground and kind of like used him up until there was nothing left. And I fear that that's what's happening to Zeke Elliott too. He just wasn't the same player last season that he was. Maybe that was the offensive line, I don't know, but he really regressed, I thought.
I just don't understand with some of these teams. It's like, and I'm not saying the Eagles are perfect. You know me, I'm critical of anybody. I don't really care about that kind of stuff, but I don't understand how the Eagles are like the one team that like invests a stupid amount of capital in their offensive and defensive lines. And it's like down in Dallas, they're basically hoping that Tyron Smith doesn't have a bad back for like the 20th time. Like, I don't understand like why they don't just be like, hey, let's spend some money on blocking for our gazillion $1 million quarterback and running back.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when they had the best line in the NFL. Probably, but
wasn't that long ago either, Dave.
Yeah. Those days are gone though, and they didn't do a very good job of replenishing things, like you said. Meanwhile, the Eagles they've done a fantastic job of not only getting a great front five, but they have like another five behind them and another five behind them that can also step in. It sounds like Andre Dillard's having a much improved camp than since he's joined the Eagles. So maybe he's a contender to step in. I guess he's obviously not going to replace Jordan Mailata, but you can do a lot worse than having your first round draft pick as a top reserve. And it's a great problem to have that much talent and just having to make them wait their turn. But like I said, injuries happen in the NFL, so I'm sure they'll get their opportunities. But it won't be much of a drop off, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Dave Weinberg for this week's edition of Weinberg Wednesday here on GameNight. Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN FM at Dave Weinberg 19 on Twitter. Extra Point Columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. Dave, before I let you go, a couple of local guys in the news here. First of all, the infamous Eric Hosmer refusing going the Nationals trade ends up in Boston, and the guy who gets traded for him is Groom from Barnegat. He's the guy that apparently the Padres regretted not drafting a few years ago. How ironic is that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw Jay pitch a couple times at Barnegat Actually, I saw Buna beat him. I guess he was a freshman maybe in the South Jersey Championship game. Denny Brady, who's now playing in the South Shore League, he pitched against him and won the game. And I'm a little surprised that the Red Sox would part ways with Jay, being it was a first round pick. It seems like he's finally healthy, kind of moving up the ladder. But I don't know. I guess he was a valuable commodity they could afford to lose. So good luck. Best luck from San Diego. Yeah,
he literally just got promoted by the Red Sox like recently
to AAA.
Yeah. So it was like he even mentioned in an interview that he was surprised he was being traded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can understand that. He was a pretty highly regarded prospect when he was drafted, and he had some arm troubles earlier in his pro career, but seems to have overcome them. So yeah, I was a little surprised also, to be honest with you.
Jake, sorry, and I just totally blank. I almost called him something completely different. I almost said Jake Peavy, but that is not what I was trying to say. I'm trying to talk about Chase Petty. Mm-hmm. Chase Petty got promoted a few days ago as well. He is not Jake Peavy, but maybe he's hoping for Jake Peavy's career.
Yeah, man. Chase had a pretty decent. I mean, the statistics weren't great in Daytona in the single A, the low single A, but that's all. When you're 18 years old, 19 years old, it's all about just getting your feet wet, learning how to live on your own. There's a lot that goes into being a professional athlete that people just don't realize. It's more than just going out there every fourth or fifth day and showing your talent. There's a whole lot of stuff. You got to do your laundry. You got to food shop. I mean, stuff that you just took for granted when you were a kid or a teenager growing up. And now they're on their own, and it's an adjustment period, but he seems to have made it now. Now he's moving up to the high A, I think, high A level. And, hopefully he'll continue to progress.
I'm sure that Chase Petty will not be too upset with me that I almost called him Jake Peavy, but
that's okay. I'm sure he understands.
I mean, if you listen, Jake Peavy won a Cy Young Award, for goodness sake.
Yeah, there you go. It's not a bad comparison.
Yeah, he didn't have a bad career. The other local story that happened earlier this week, Dave, I got to get your reaction on. Paul Sacco announcing that this is his last year at St. Joe's of Hamilton. And I got to say, the quotes I saw from him, if we were being honest, they were pretty damning toward the school. I mean, some of his comments about, what the school told him and his relationship with them and, his kind of like how he was handling his business, it really sounds like the school really did a big mess up here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to point fingers because I don't know the whole story, but yeah, it does seem that way. Yeah, you're right, Josh. I'm a little confused by the whole thing. It sounded like Sacco or Paul kind of like admitted that he's being forced out, yet the administration insists that's not the case. He was going to retire after last year, but now he's coming back for one more year. He still wants to coach again, but as an assistant coach or something at another school. Because they nearly he lost all of his assistant coaches from a couple of years ago. I mean, for a long time assistants. Now it's an entirely new staff. Maybe they just want to move on. I guess because it's like a new regime, so to speak, new president of the school, new athletic director. I think.
Right.
It's but you're right. I mean, as other people have noted, when you're a legend like Paul Sacco, you've been in that job for 40 some years. You deserve to be able to go out on your own terms, and it doesn't sound like that's happening, and that's truly a shame.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right now, and I said this the other day, Dave. If Paul Sacco is going to be an assistant coach somewhere else, I got a good feeling that a lot of kids are going to be trying to get out of going to St. Joe and following him elsewhere because I know that Coach Sacco is a beloved guy by a lot of his players.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. No question about it. You're right there.
I mean, in a world of school choice and everybody and their cousin transferring, I mean, my goodness, it's such a confusing mess. Dave, I honestly don't understand. Like, I remember when I was in high school, and that wasn't even that long ago. 20 years.
Make you feel old. Thanks a lot.
Well, 20 years ago, was it 20 years ago? Well, it's 2002. So 20 years ago, when I was a sophomore in high school, you literally only had a couple of choices where you went to high school. You had your district, you had to pay to go to a private school, or you have like maybe a special exception to go to like a tech school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now it's like you got kids from like one city going to a completely different school because of the choice system, and like it's just so confusing. Like, I can only imagine what it would be like today trying to broadcast a high school football game, and you're saying, all right, well, so and so from Absegami, but he's actually from. Is that Summers Point? Like, like you're looking at the list of like the hometowns, and it's like a complete mess now.
Yeah, it's very confusing to me as well. I'm kind of in the same boat as you when I graduated 46 years ago. Actually, we're getting ready to have our 45+1 reunion next month. But yeah, it's at Lower Cape May. But yeah, when I was there, you had your choice. You went to Lower Cape May or you went to Wawa Catholic, pretty much. People that wanted to play football went to Lower Cape May because obviously you couldn't do that at Wawa Catholic. And yeah, it's very confusing to me. I don't understand the whole choice school process necessarily. I mean, you have like kids playing for Ocean City from Longport or from Brigantine. It just, or you have kids from Atlantic City playing for other schools. The whole thing is like really confusing to me. I don't get it, but evidently the state or the powers that be thought that it was a good idea. So I guess you just have to live with it.
I'm just saying, I would love to have a school of choice when I was in high school, but
yeah. Where would you have gone?
I mean, well, look, here's the thing. I went to K-May Tech for high school,
right.
So I didn't even go.
Where'd you grow up? I'm sorry.
So my sending district would have been Ocean City High School.
Okay.
So. But like, just the idea of having a choice, just sounds like a fun proposition, like you sit down with your parents, you have the discussion about, like the whole point with the K-May Tech was supposed to like help you with your professional development, right? Like, that whole thing. So it's like, if school choice is similar to that, like, I don't know, maybe I would have ended up like Mainland or something.
Yeah. They're treading on really dangerous grounds here when it comes to like recruiting and stuff though. You can talk all you want about professional development, but if you're a quarterback, you want to go to a certain school. If you're a power forward, you want to go to a certain school.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a power hitting catcher, you want to go to a certain school. And it's and they find their way to that school, which is kind of I understand like some school districts or some fans, I guess, are understandably upset when a kid goes through their youth program and then winds up somewhere else. Right. But I guess that's their right, and that's their option, right or wrong. They do have that opportunity.
Dave Weinberg, follow him on Twitter at Dave Weinberg 19. Extra point columns over at 973ESPN.com. Dave, always enjoy talking with you, and we'll catch up next week.
Awesome, Josh. Thanks again as always. I appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
Josh Hennig here on Game Night, no longer on the Sports Bash. Mike Gill is back, and I'm back on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. We'll get to your guys' thoughts and comments on the other side. Text board is open, 609-403-0973. You also can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. More football talk on the other side.
Saturday on ESPN Radio.
On its way, gone! A 3-run homer for Pete Alonso.
The fight for the top of the National League East takes center stage this weekend at Citi Field when Pete Alonso and the New York Mets face Austin Riley and the Atlanta Braves.
Way back there, gone! Austin Riley goes deep.
The Mets and Braves. Coverage begins Saturday at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Listen to Major League Baseball on 97.3 ESPN, South Jersey sports leader.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
Every vehicle, one dime down.
At the all-new Springfield Mitsubishi, Atlantic City. SpringfieldMitsu.com.
I want to take more chances with the embroidering.
Henley's vision for a new clothing line is coming into focus.
Dramatic.
They'll need an on-staff photographer to put their collection in the spotlight.
Why is no one taking shots of these?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Something you probably do know. Progressive can not only offer you a great price when you bundle home and auto, they offer you round-the-clock protection. Something you probably don't know? A driveway basketball hoop, including the base, weighs around 400 pounds. Something you probably do know? There's a windstorm coming. Something you probably don't know? A basketball hoop tipping over can poke a hole in a car roof like a can opener. Bundle your home and auto with Progressive and get more than a great price. Get round-the-clock protection. Something you know for the things you don't know. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the burger of your dreams. It's on the new DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. A lineup of 5 premium burgers like the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger and Loaded A1 Signature Stack Burger with 100% seasoned real beef patties, melty cheese, and a combo of top-notch toppings and sauces galore. This dream burger is calling your name. But it isn't a dream. You're ordering at the DQ drive-thru. Hello. The DQ Signature Stack Burgers lineup. Try it today. DQ. Happy tastes good.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and member FDIC.
Welcome to Allstate, where driving safe saves you more. And it should. With DriveWise in the Allstate app and your safe driving skills, you can save 40%. Add it to your policy for personalized driving feedback and save. Lower your rates, match your expectations with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
Have that flat weave shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. When was the last time you changed your spark plugs? Replacing your spark plugs can restore the efficiency and performance of your vehicle. Stop by and get a $12 O'Reilly Auto Parts gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase 4 or more select Iridium spark plugs. Get better performance with new spark plugs from your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, Pete, how's business? It's great. Foot traffic's still way down, but more people are finding me online. Nice. How'd you pull that off? Well, the first thing I did was go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there were for businesses like mine. So I guess there were a lot? Yeah, there were hundreds of local searches every month. So after I saw that, they helped me position my business online to get in front of those customers. That's awesome. I wonder how many people are searching for my services around here. Well, it's quick and easy to get the answer. Plus, it's free. Just go to mylocalcustomers.com to find out. If there are a lot of searches, you should definitely get in front of them. If there aren't, no harm, no foul.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig back here in the Matt Buck Kia Studios at 97.3 ESPN FM. Don't forget the 97.3 ESPN mobile app where you can listen to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill, Galen with Josh Hennig, the Locker Room with Billy Schweinman, more all through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, plus all your coverage of the Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, South Jersey High School sports, and more. And your opportunity to win tickets to go see Russell Peters live in concert August 20th at Ocean Resort Casino in Atlantic City. We have 5 pairs of tickets to give away on the Sports Bash. Mike Gill, we will be giving away those tickets this week. So you want to make sure you qualify. All you got to do is get the 973 ESPN mobile app. It's free. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. Download it, go on the app, and fill out your information so you have a chance to go see award-winning comedian Russell Peters on August 20th at Ocean Resort Casino in Atlantic City. Couple things before we get out of here. We'll also check on the text board at 609-403-0973 and your DMs into the 973 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Couple things I want to hit on. Number one on football. So the Deshaun Watson thing is gotten even more messy than it was previously, but we kind of expected this to happen. So the NFL now is going to appeal Judge Robinson's decision of the 6 games. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind was, number one, according to the collective bargaining agreement between the NFL and the NFLPA, there cannot be disputed the findings of Judge Sue Robinson. So her findings and her description of Deshaun Watson as having predatory behavior and Deshaun Watson being is a behavior being egregious, and the actions that he committed and the way he went about his business and the way he handled things, that cannot be disputed at all. The only thing that can be disputed is the length of the suspension. Now, according to reports, the NFL wants Deshaun Watson to have an indefinite suspension, but they would like a minimum of a year-long suspension. And part of it has to do with the fact that if he's suspended for an entire year, he loses $1 million+ basically. The NFLPA obviously is going to dispute whatever decision they come up with, because the NFLPA and Deshaun Watson's representatives were already ready to accept the 6-game suspension. And I assume that that's what they're going to dispute. They're going to dispute that, look, we were willing to accept, some sort of punishment, but asking for more punishment is going to go, above and beyond, what's going on. And look, the reason why I bring this up is because the NFL has done a poor job historically of handling things. They have a long, long history of doing a bad job at properly balancing between being a business and public relations. There is something to be said for just using common sense. Even if Deshaun Watson didn't do anything he's been accused of, we have already established one thing, that there are 2 things without a shadow of a doubt about Deshaun Watson. Number one, it has been proven that he is a liar, because he keeps contending that he did nothing wrong. But yet, everyone has established that he has done something wrong. He claims that he didn't do certain things when it has been established that he did do certain things. Now, those things don't fall under the umbrella of felony criminal charges, but they are still morally wrong. Okay? And I think that's where the problem is. People are so hung up on the legal aspect of this, but they overlook the ethical aspect of this. The things that Deshaun Watson has done, and he is being accused of, are ethically wrong. And there was a time in this world where having a good reputation and having a good name and doing things a certain way was valued. And in today's world, the more weird and extreme you are, those people get applauded and accepted. Over a decade ago, when Michael Vick left jail for the dog abuse that he was involved in, people protested. Today, Deshaun Watson is being accused of horrible, weird, disgusting things, and people are cheering him at training camp. Not a fan.
We're Town Square Media, and along with the awesome radio station you're listening to right now, we're publishers of best-in-class national entertainment brands like Taste of Country, Pop Crush, and more. And when combined with our local brands, we can reach over 70% of consumers in our community. At Town Square, all this digital clout puts us in a unique position to help local businesses grow with powerful marketing solutions. In addition to local radio, we're experts at web design and SEO, plus targetable advertising solutions like streaming TV, addressable geofencing, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, Spotify, search engine marketing, and so much more. That may sound like a lot of buzzwords, but really all that matters is we can deliver a relevant and ideal target audience to your business with data-informed decisions. No guessing, no waste, and you gain a trusted marketing partner with Town Square Media.
Take your business to the next level. Call our Director of Sales, Jim McLean, today at 609-910-5247.